Here we are. I am so excited for this day that has I've been waiting for something like 40 some odd years because I saw this gentleman, Saul Morey, here that's with us today when he was 2 years old in a car seat at an exercise class because his mom and I were both exercising with our 2-year-old boys. Uh-oh. Is that
Still have my hair.
so, Saul? That leads to my first question. If you want to tell us, how old are you today?
I am today turning, well, in terms of how Dad always says
Yeah.
things, well, I'm 49, but really that means I've actually finished my 49 years when you finish
Oh, okay.
and
There
have a
you
birth.
go.
So I'm really starting my 50th.
All right. Well, you look great. I'm telling
Thank
you.
you, dearest.
And the
You are
last time I
vibrant and beautiful as ever.
well, thank you. So, what I wanted to do today, for those of you that are going to watch this video now and later, is to just get into the soul of soul, which also means sun in Spanish. So, of course, you're out there in the sun. Where else would you be? But we've wanted to know about this legacy that has worked its way into the world via a dad, but we want to know about the son. So let's start with a little bit about your past. So you grew up in what city?
I grew up in the coastal town or the high mountainside of Kealakekua,
Okay,
and that's on the Big Island.
that's right. And then so you went to school. Where'd you go to elementary school?
My elementary days, I can remember, probably before preschool rather, and then it
Mhm.
bled into that, was in a missionary looking building right across from Queen Liliuokalani's palace there on
Oh,
the front
wow.
street of Ali'i Drive in Kona.
Hmm.
And you always see it's like whitewashed. And what
Yeah.
great memories I have about that place.
Oh,
Us
I bet.
kids, laying down during nap time, and luckily being able to associate with a few of those classmates in the real world of another year later going into the school system.
Yeah.
Yeah, up above in Kalikehe.
Okay. So then, but now I saw something where you actually went to high school in Bainbridge, Washington, though, right?
You
Yeah.
have that right. I was able to become again the minority.
I know. I can't believe that you went from hot to cold and cold to hot, and so you've had
Yeah,
quite a diversified
and
life.
that was actually something I really enjoy because being growing up with the boogie board or whatever was at hand, we went to the islands, of course,
Hmm.
and being in the snow as possible in the Big Island. So we took advantage of some of the first
Oh yeah, snow
knee
boogie.
boogieing down the
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
slopes over there. So when we got to Washington, I'd been acclimated to really hot climates. My parents in Costa Rica when I was 3, and later in
Hmm.
California again to the snow once more. So I really liked that part of it because the outdoorsy. But what was really uh, having to go through an internship, if you will, was
Yeah.
another thing about being the minority in the way of I was here. There was
Hmm.
localism throughout,
Oh
and then
yeah.
there's another kind of structure of where you are in classification of friends that grew up together or that
Hmm.
have interests in this level. So I had to work through those. I was
Yeah.
so happy to work through it, and I became a friend of all.
Yeah.
But that to me was the striking difference.
Yeah. And that probably is great training for just about everything. To have that ability to jump in. Actually, my son was like that too. We did so much, moving around in schools and stuff. He now knows what it means, and he's exactly your age. So,
We're
you get,
created. We're created to handle
yeah,
quite a bit, aren't we? To diversify in
yeah,
adversities.
Gen X. You are Gen X to the maximum. Let me tell you. But I don't want to label you though. But
I want to label that the next drink.
the next clothing line. Okay. So a little bit about that, and then what about family now? So you got up to the point where you're you have a marriage and a family and all that. Where'd that come from?
Family from the beginning, I never felt, but always considered to have family all around me.
Uh-huh.
And my first wife that I met in Israel was from
Mm.
Chile, and
Mm.
obviously maybe it was her red hair, maybe it was her great smile.
Oh.
We hit it off, and we kept together. And then by the time we realized we wanted to not go our separate ways from Israel, back where I might go to California, where my
Mhm.
parents had hence left the Northwest, and we're now in California. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, oh, maybe I go to Chile. Oh, where is Chile? I asked, where is this place in the world? And she
Yeah.
showed me on a map. So I have been able to have that relationship turn into a marriage there. And maybe 6 years later, after also having traveled to different parts of the planet with her, um, had a child who is now 23. And
Wow.
he is a exceptional person, spirit, and soul. And he's helping me every bit of the way with in regards to stuff with Morey or
Hmm.
websites. And
What's his
his
name?
family is now my family still. Nicholas.
Nicholas. Okay. And where does he
Yeah,
live?
he's in Palm Springs, Palm Desert
Oh.
area,
Uh-huh.
California.
Oh, okay.
And so
Wow.
we were together until he was 2, and
Hmm.
then we're in Chile at that time too, and made sure he was born in Chile, not the States. And
Uh-huh.
I liked the vibe there, the
Oh, yeah.
familyhood, the growing, and I had visited there for a month prior to. But I lived there for about 2.5 years. Then I came to California and was again involved with dad in the surfboard, really, because
Mhm.
bodyboards had become precursored by more involvement with the surfboard end of what we
Yeah.
do. And there's the story of me being there on my own, single, and bringing up a friend from Chile as well. And then
Hmm.
through invitation of a friend, I came to Maui. And he
Ah.
said, hey, John Roberson, this guy who is well
Oh,
known
yeah.
here in the paddling community. You probably know
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, because I paddled for years. Yeah.
Wow. So yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny Cow,
Hmm.
we call him, right?
Hmm.
Super guy. And he got me considering, hey, well, why don't you come help me on my house? I thought, why not go back to the islands? Hello. I thought
Ooh.
I might retire here. And
Yeah.
then, there, and I got involved and I started doing the board repair as well and looking at the other sides of windsurfing and kiteboarding that was spewing all around it. It still
Yeah.
does. But
Yeah.
then I found a relationship in a local girl here, and we have 5 years together, and she decided that was it. And I decided I'm not going to restrain her. So we have association. We're in the same town here, and henceforth, I was able to have again another family that
Oh,
from
nice.
Chile and here in localized realm. And I married again, so I'm in my third marriage.
Okay.
Beauty queen she is from Argentina, and so now talking
Wow.
about family extension, I'm able to reconnect with Chile in the same areas. I have
Hmm.
an extensive family here of her brothers and sisters, and I've
Hmm.
traveled to Chile back and forth, Argentina.
Hmm.
So family life is very big, and her daughter, who's my
Yeah.
son's age, just had a kid who's 8 months, and his name is Kavika David, and
Now,
the
wait a minute.
next little water
Her
star.
daughter hooked up with your son, or they?
My wife today has a daughter,
Uh-huh.
the same age as my son,
Right.
and 23, and she has a baby with
Oh,
somebody else, a
oh,
local
okay.
boy
Oh,
here.
I thought maybe.
Yeah,
Did Nicholas end up with red hair too from Chile?
you are on it. He
Really?
has the Spanish blood. He's more
Uh-huh.
blondish, but
Hmm.
it would be in the right light that you might have had that flicker
Really?
of red,
Wow,
but
that's
he's not
pretty.
too red.
That's me. I'm like my mom's Mexican, so
You
yo
got
puedo.
freckles too.
Yeah, yo puedo hablar todo español. Tengo problemas en el sol, and I have to be really careful. But Debbie,
Oh, don't we all?
my sister's got that more olive. She gets really tan, but we're our
I love the fact that you speak Spanish. That to me is such a
well,
language of love.
of course, claro que sí, but not that mucho, just poquito.
Yes,
So,
boy,
and
and even so, I want to hit on that point. I You see different people here all the time uh, that are stars, and oh, what's the fellow's name? Oh, it'll come to me in a second.
okay,
But I asked him. I said because he asked me, "What language is that you're speaking with your wife?" That's Spanish. That's the language of love. He goes, "I thought French was the language of love,"
oui, 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 oui.
and he was right. He's right. That's true. It's a
Yeah,
lot more love.
yeah. It's one of the what do they call it? One of those linguas. More. Yeah.
It was Steven
So,
Tyler. That's who it was that told me that.
oh, Steven Tyler, yeah.
He's here
So
all the time.
this is fascinating. I'm just loving catching up with you. Like I said, it's been 40 years. So I
Same
love
here. I
catching
mean,
up with
I'm
you.
talking to a sister of mine, an
Yeah,
auntie, if I will, and yet
yeah.
it's
So much
as if
time.
time has passed, and I'm so readily anxious to
Yeah,
share with you
I know.
whatever
That's
your life
so
has been
awesome.
too.
Well, I really wanted to like when you said that you went to Israel. My first impression was that you probably went because of the Baha'i faith. Was that it? Was that the reason? Okay.
Yes, my after high school was okay. Well, my parents were trying to give me an option of how to stay clear of problems as well, and entering college was an option, but my dad and my mom were like looking, where are you trying to put yourself in a skill base too? So,
Yeah.
which I had already done. I was doing drafting and started with the early AutoCAD,
Oh,
where it
wow.
was just transitioning into that, which has helped me a lot to follow a lot with along the lines of design that has been a part of my dad's encore of things. He's a designer. He draws in
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
realms. So with a Hanai brother, somebody I grew up with here,
Mhm.
who was very mechanically inclined, we went and finished out after high school some of these classes. And then that idea of with the Baha'i faith that it's good to give a year of service, my
Mhm.
parents had their eyes on, oh, well, there's a place you could look at, Israel, which is where
There
the
you go.
administrative and heart center of it is. So I went there, and in a capacity of helping with a special group that was designed after the Gulf War to enunciate a documentary of buildings, holy sites for the Baha'i faith. So I was helping with the
Oh,
surveyor, and therein
wow.
I met my wife to be um, at the time from Chile, while she was in other departments of something with the gardens, and then later in a couple of months, she moved into another thing with waxing and helping redo
Mhm.
ornaments.
Yeah.
So that was what brought me to Israel. But I was
Wow.
nonetheless very active, and I found ways to get wood and do skimming. And we bodyboard there a lot,
Oh,
but I made skim
wow.
boards, and we'd be down at skimming beaches on the Haifa north part of
Yeah,
Israel. And today
Haifa.
you see so many
Oh, I know.
sports, just
Oh,
taking over.
yeah.
But
That's
windsurfing was happening, and surfing and boogie boarding at the time of 91,
1991. Yeah. Okay.
91, 92. That's
Mhm.
when we were there.
Wow. Well, that's fascinating. I bet you that was just
Toda
really,
Rabah.
yeah, really cool to go, yeah, and do that, for sure.
Learn
So,
another language or two.
yeah.
But if you don't use
So
them, you lose them.
that's right. Now, you're down at the beach. I see palm trees. So where are you
But
today?
yeah.
You're in Maui?
Yeah, we're in, my wife and I, Janina, live in southern Maui.
Mhm.
Right now I'm near the Andaz at Olua Beach, which is a fabulous alcove just before the long stretch of the Wailea hotels.
Mhm. Oh,
And
wow.
Olua, it's out here I think it's called Shaw's Reef, and a couple other names for surf spots here. When it
Uh-huh.
breaks,
Oh,
it's
that's
really
nice.
clean, not
Yeah,
very far
ooh,
off,
yeah. Wow.
and
Now,
majestic place.
so Hawaii, it sounds like it's been, like for myself also, I got to be around palm trees. I see those palm trees, like, I love palm trees. And I love Hawaii. And, that's where I met your dad in Hawaii, and I met your mom in Hawaii. And I told your mom the other night, I think I hooked those two up because he kept asking me who that chick was that I was body surfing with.
You see,
Uh,
these are the stories I want to hear.
yeah,
Hawaiian, you
Hawaiian.
hook them up. What?
Yeah, that's what she goes. Oh, yeah. I said, yeah, we would body surf on these at Branickey's Beach, and the waves are, of course, it's like this. And we'd come out and go, oh. So we started rafting, so the raft would help with the land a little bit, And remember, there's no boogie boards around, so raft might help. That got into be like, the rafts are flying everywhere. And then,
I lost it. I lost the raft, no leash, and it's flying out to
oh,
Molokai. Or
oh,
sorry,
yeah.
in that
No,
case, it's
no,
gone to
no.
me out where the sharks are.
But I mean, it seems to me like if sounds like you're kind of like grounded in Hawaii now. That's kind of your roots over there. What do you
My
think?
dad taught me that. He
Yeah.
kept us kids always seeing that grounded was important. I don't mean it by going and being he would lay on the ground when we
Mm-hmm.
were in the parking lot in Washington
Mm-hmm.
State going from one place to another, spread out, take his shirt off,
Mm-hmm.
middle of the public, in the street. And or he wanted to sleep on the floor if we came and camped somewhere. He wanted to sleep outside on the ground and get
Oh
grounded.
yeah.
But
No.
this is, electricity and this part of the feel of my dad, it extends to learning that all these things matter. So
Yep.
we're drawn to it as kids.
Yeah. And Hawaii, what better place? Oh, I mean, it's just like you're so blessed to live over there. I tell you. And
It's
what type of
fortuitous.
work did you work? Or do you have some kind of project going on?
Yeah, as I came over here, I was working with my dad, and we did it's a whole other realm of stuff to do with
Mm-hmm.
surfboards and UV lights and so forth. But coming here, I was, because of my drafting capacity, helping John with his house. I'm
Yeah.
going to draw it up. And then the neighbor was dating this fellow from Denmark, a Holland guy that had built the Ding King shop here,
Oh.
which is known for all repairs.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hey, you should talk to Mark and see about getting a job there or something like that. I like working on the land, worked for trade for a while.
Yeah.
And I was happy out there in the boondocks for a little bit, kind of recovering as well from a marriage that didn't go well, or I was over there and I just
Yeah.
needed to kind of refine my bearings. And eventually the house of ours that we lived in, John's, burned up, but I went to work and was able to have a car and
Dang.
get back on my feet and so forth in the surfing industry, and took on different side jobs. But lo and behold, the surfing turned towards teaching it here in Kihei and in Lahaina. So after teaching, and then the stand-up paddling came, and I was one of the first to teach stand-up because we didn't have boards
Yeah.
or what have you, but we'd seen Laird and Dave, these guys doing it.
Yeah.
And we knew that there was something there. So we started having boards, and those boards became my rental board fleet. And so you're always connected to the public, and then
Wow.
you're sharing the island. So as only of maybe 7-8 years ago, I was fully involved with a lot more of the teaching, the board rental thing that I had set up, through time that I don't advertise, but people would remember and
Yeah.
call me up for. And
Oh, that's
now there's just too
amazing.
many people to do it. You would never have it. It's a saturated industry.
Oh,
But you
really?
have, yeah, everything is. You have to be on it at the beginning and then ride that wave for a little bit, jump onto the next one, but keep enjoying the waves that are there that come off those breaks.
Yeah.
And I found myself turning then to Kihei more is my local realm, and I had a partnership with a friend, and we created a Morey Inc. company that has the Morey Challenge connected to it, which has been an obstacle course we put on here at the Big Beach,
Oh,
2014. And we had
wow.
about 500 participants, 25 people going out at a time through a inflatable on the ocean water course, and then on the land, it was about Easter time. And we had many different size events, many smaller mini challenge courses involving the public, the grassroots IMUA, like helping children,
Oh,
or
cool.
yeah, very involved, getting to know a lot of people. But also my wife to be was from Argentina, looking to how we could commit to things. We got ourselves a mechanical boat. We had these inflatable. We started doing side party gigs of renting the equipment,
Wow.
and then cleaning business from glassworks. And now we have for the last 5 years, a full-fledged 40 condos, very slow right now, but it's still happening.
Yeah.
Businesses with cleaning and keeping the condos ready. So I've done a lot with tours and going around to Hana and to other sites and showing people how to do surf on in the capacity that they're able, like surf safaris, and know the island myself. So I'm always ready to vibe off of the visitors and their energies, and I'm
Wow.
surviving off of the cleaning business as well as the other things that come our way. And I've done a lot with graphic work, so offering my
Wow.
graphics to be able to do hats and clothing, helping people with their businesses where they don't know where they're going with it, as far as maybe shirts for their employees, this sort of thing, or having their own physical drawings that they can then pass and put onto different media.
Wow. So you're just like a total man of all trades.
Have to be. I'm a Morey.
Wow. And well, the thing of it is too, it's
My
like,
dad didn't leave us the company. He left us the sights on innovation and entrepreneurship.
yep, that is so perfect. And I was telling him, I said, I think that the reason I really was attracted to talking to Saul is because I know there's a life in there, and I know it's got its own life and its own thing. And he goes, well, it's the Morey team. And I go, no, because when I was in high school, my brother was like everything, and he was a year ahead of me, and he was the senior class president and the most popular and the cutest, and the captain. And I was Patty Caldwell. That, of course, Caldwell, like Debbie Caldwell, was my maiden name, and I had to live like under his name, and I never thought anybody liked me because I thought they just liked him and they wanted to get to him through me. And it's terrible to be
It was so true.
someone that's under somebody like that. And so that's why I was always intrigued by you, because I thought, God, here's the first boy out, of 4.
So you're hearing stuff through my mom. Oh, how's the kids, the family? So you've been staying in touch with her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And then, yeah. Oh, yeah. I lived in Carlsbad, a block away from them when they came up from Chile. That's how I hooked up with them, because I'd met. No, my whole story is so divine with the way Tom and Marcia and I hooked back up again. I mean,
you're my missing link. I want to hear all of it sometime.
Well, I know, but yeah, because this is about you today. But anyway, but my intrigue with you was the fact that you had what, like I had, which was having to live under my brother's legacy. and then having to break out on my own. And so I wanted to talk, I've always wanted to talk to you, like, how have you broken out on your own, to be, soul Morey, just that, nothing more, and it sounds to me like I'm getting what I wanted, which was you really have turned into quite the person yourself, which would have been that way anyway. It would have been that way anyway. And I think I would have been that way anyway too. My brother said the same thing. He goes, you would have,
Isn't that true? Wow.
He told me, my brother told me, who I was like shadow of him. He says, you have far surpassed me. I mean, he said that so many times. And that's why I thought, listening to you today, first time in like so many years, it sounds like not only are you still young.
I could say my parents are stoked for me all the time.
Yeah. You're so young. You're so talented. You have such a brilliant future that who cares what your name is? It could be any name,
That's it.
It could be any name because that's who you are. And I would play off that, because sometimes you think, I always thought that people were trying to get in, and they were trying to spend the night with me because they wanted to cop a look at my brother or something,
I wouldn't know who to be other than me. If somebody wanted to be telling me I was somebody else, I'd be okay. I would take that side, but I only know myself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you don't really, to me, it doesn't sound like you need any ends with the name. You're going to go whatever you want to do anyway, which is totally cool.
I've almost tend to, most of my friends don't know that my dad is Tom Morey or that there's that relationship.
Exactly.
They find out through other means, terms, years later, and it never sink in. I always kind of had that when I was younger, and they, I'd say, oh yeah, well, boogie boards are something my family made. They're like, yeah, right. That was like 100 years ago. And hey, I can't disagree because there's the pipe board. You're right.
Yeah. Well, fast forward to this celebration, because you have been posting. I mean, first of all, I'm so glad you joined the group.
This is the wave right here that Dad does all the time.
That's right. I know.
He waves to people. Yeah, we need to incorporate that. That's the new signal.
I saw that on Putin. Somebody asked on one of the pictures, they go, what does it mean when he does that? Well, okay.
Whoa,
there you go. He means the wave.
I can't put my finger on through that with the other hand, but that wouldn't be appropriate either.
I mean, I don't want to give away any secrets, but we've got so many fun things lined up for 2021. And like I said, I was so excited that you and Moon both joined the group, which is going to be just fabulously grande. But the other thing is the stoke that's going to come out of it, and I just appreciate you going through the archives and finding that stuff, because I mean, I even put one of them up as the header, because that one where he's trimming down that wave, it was amazing, But you're gonna not only experience the wonderfulness of yourself. I think you're gonna actually be honored for just being in that hierarchy of the Morey family. It's
my dad says we're part of as you are too, a surf tribe. Maybe I have a royalty status in that, a minor status.
You do.
I am so pleased to, and I'm privileged to have been able to sideline one of the greatest people affecting surf and the minds of people, the spirit of people. It's like walking alongside the ambassador, Mr. Abraham.
Oh, absolutely. I feel the same way.
Look at all the kooks, the surfers he's produced in the world.
Oh, I know. I mean, I feel exactly the same way. In fact,
language.
Like we're talking, it's like I'm like his sister. Like we really talk like brother and sister because we've been known each other for so long, But
it's a faith. We have a faith of our own.
Yep. And it's just going to be, like I said, when I realized it was the 50th year, I've been in at 45 of those 50. So it's like, I mean, that's when I started down in Carlsbad. I realized that there was going to be a lot of people coming forward, Saul, that want in on this celebration, and there was going to be some people that were going to try to slither in and slither out, and we're
originating this together.
Yeah, we're the protectors. That's what I told everybody. I said, we got to protect that. Whatever, if there's any money to be made this year, it's going to go to Tom as gratitude. So all the different financial projects we're working on, it's not about how much time we spend or how much it costs. The proceeds are going to go to Tom Morey. And so that's why I want to thank you for just joining in and posting some of those archival photos, because it means so much to people. I mean, I can't even tell you the
It's been
volume.
building up to this. It's been building
It
up to this.
has.
There's a great legacy to be learned,
Yep.
and I'm ready to learn. And
Hmm.
people are going to be sharing and teaching me things that I have never
Hmm.
seen from that. And that's always how it is. And I'm so
Yep.
stoked to be a part of
Yep.
it.
Yeah, and I honor you for being, like I said, part of it, because it's really important. Really, like I said, the protection, um, that these corporations and stuff don't come in
It
like they have.
falls. It falls on our spirits, on our shoulders, if you
It
will.
does. And that's, I'm committed. I told your dad I'm 2 year commit. I mean, 1 year commitment. I'll give
Yeah.
you one. And
Like Mike Stewart has done that, and my heart goes out to my sister Melinda and Mike for all their efforts of
I
bringing the
know,
spirit of
I
where we
know,
go, where are the aims
I
of
know.
these projects, and
Yep, this is it. And
Mike
so
thinks
anyway,
of
I
my
want
dad,
to.
and he is my brother.
That's right. But I just want to end with something that I think is kind of real important to probably the listener that watches this now and later, is what, where okay, you're approaching 50 years, or you're not quite 50 yet, but what do you see the future? See, I won't be alive for this, but how do you see things going in your development and your inventions, and
I love
what
you
do
think I'm young still, because yes, I'm fit at
you
50
are,
still.
you are,
And
trust
I
me.
think that being at the side of seeing my dad have that question thrown at him, they
Yeah,
always want to say, well, do you see surfing taking off more in the air and air styles? And my dad would just immediately hit him down with all that air jazz is just crap.
yeah, I can hear him saying that, the acrobatics, yeah, the acrobatics, yeah.
Yeah, so
What do you
I
see?
believe I believe he's right, because of the focus, the focus away. I have grown up with the greatest of yearning to see more and more people take the ocean life into their soul. It's a surfer's life. It's how the veterans didn't get to. They went to war, didn't get to experience pulling away from society and
Yeah.
doing it on your own terms.
Hmm.
And I don't know how to label any of this stuff other than we're going to see it come to fruition. We're
Yeah.
going to see it all come to fruition.
Hmm. Well, the ocean's always going to be there, so we know we don't have to change that. So now it's just a
Going to
matter of
rise.
how we're going to ride it. What's that look like? What are these? What does it look like? And so, and now, are you involved in the prototypes and stuff like that of any products?
Myself,
Uh
me,
huh.
myself, and I. Yes,
Cool. Cool. So I
and
don't want you to share.
it's only holding on to so much that Tom has pioneered that
Hmm.
hasn't gone full into the surfing industry, but has been seen.
Hmm.
So there are many design concepts that work, but
Hmm.
what the society gravitates to is just what sells.
That's right. Yeah.
And this is the kind of mindset that we don't want to take on as a people,
Hmm.
because we're accepting mediocre. If anything,
Hmm.
we're accepting more trash, which we already have enough of in our life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the refocus is, it's not about me and how I surf a wave, but rather how the wave is to be ridden.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And I think a lot of people kind of resonate with that too. That's awesome.
I think
Now,
and hope so.
yeah.
That's the soulful spirit of where we're coming out of. This material, liquid materialism only has left us with,
Hmm.
but still we are focused more on the spiritual hand in hand nature
Hmm.
of our beings, which
Hmm.
means being Pono.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, look, we're coming up on 30 minutes. I knew I was going to be able to take a lot of time with you. Usually I spend like 10, 20 minutes with people, but tell me
Way
one last
easy.
thing before we go. Look and just tell the bodyboarder, who probably is the one that is listening now and listening later, what just your closing comments, because this is a major thing for me to see you live out there on the beach.
I
And
can thank
but
you, and I am so
but
blessed
what,
to give an
yeah,
opportunity to share about how I feel boogie boarders, bodyboarders, snake machine
yeah.
riders, as the original de facto is. It's the pipo boarding. It's the Hawaii spirit that
Hmm.
wherever you're from in the world, you are partaking in something of of all peoples. The surfers had royalty because they could stand as a li'i, but we as the boogie boarder are the people who are committed to enjoyment of the ocean. And my dad always was sharing stoke and enjoyment. He even made this one ticket was, he had this like $1 bill. I'll find it somewhere, and it was written like $1 million of stoke. And you'd pass it to somebody.
Yeah,
Remember that?
I
And so
do.
for me, it's always committed to, hey, if you're a young surfer, a young bodyboarder, and you're an older but younger bodyboarder, and you're sharing this, get to where your principles aren't hardcore bodyboarding. It's about family. That's hardcore, because what you're doing is you're sharing the first steps into the ocean, the precursor to confronting more than you can handle. And that's the ocean teaches us.
That's right.
As the boogie song, you listen to the boogie song, Pops will tell you right in that song, the education received from the ocean. And whatever you can do in your life to partake in cleaning, caring for, or having people witness that part of what they're drawn to, because this is an inland surfing empire now, surfing. People who can have the right board, have the right look, and now they're a surfer.
Yep.
They're still missing. The point is, take care of what you have. And that's your family, and your family needs to then be a part of you taking care of what they have, which is your this is the world right here that we have.
Yeah, it's beautiful right there.
And we do that together. We do that together. And nothing else resonates more with me than that simple thought. I mean, all religions teach spirituality, and we came to knowing Christ was talking about family, the community level. This grouping is where we start from, and we go forward into nation building, which we have had as well. Islamists brought that. And now we're on a universal level. So on a universal level, I think that boogie boarding is the starting step into appreciating, as many people experience the ocean through that. Not right away going out there on a surfboard. It's dangerous if you don't know your way around the ocean, the currents, and so forth. So just share the knowledge of it. Don't get caught in the impact zone. Start using metaphors, allegories to explain things in your livelihood. Oh, bro, but if you're gonna go out there, you know everything. Hey, hothead, well, slow down. Stay slow. Put the fins on forward, backwards. Try them any kind. See if you can go out there and make them. You know, it's not every day that you get all the right equipment, right?
That's
so
right.
Be thankful you got the right equipment in the first place, because somebody showed you how. I think my dad and his leading edge surfers to show us how to surf. The rest of that other garbled part of the tribe that is Hollywood or wants to be seen, I don't care. We don't need that. Let's go away from idol worshiping once more to witness this glory. This is one
that is just
great
beautiful.
thing.
Is that because of the quarantine?
If you would, I would share that.
I will. In fact, as you were talking, I go, oh, I could just see a little clip of this I'm going to take out and put on the website, you know, because really to tell people.
I'm trying to hold it steady. There's some people.
Oh, yeah.
There's people in the water. Of course, no masks. We don't need masks. We're keeping apart from each other. But
it's beautiful.
It's one of the longest beaches here.
Is that part of the island, or is that another island out over there?
We have Molokini right there in front of what is Paho'olave. And then over to the right in the mist, it's kind of a, I don't know if there's a vog, there's not vog, but it's kind of a.
I can see it.
There's Lanai. And then you got the West Maui, which is a Hale Mahina. And there's a point where around that point it just goes on and on, beautiful. And then up here is Haleakala in the backdrop.
Oh, wow.
House of the Rising Sun.
Wow.
Yeah, if you want to get into where I've been, Hawaii, this is where it's at. Learning the heritage of our navigators that came here and how they continue to navigate as a people is important to realign yourself. There's a lot more Hawaiian emergence going on, and I think that they're the precursor, in helping the world know how to take care of the land, because that's what this society teaches. The Hapua'a system is you're only here. It's a contingency thing that if you don't take care of where you are, it can't be over here.
No, I remember that when I paddled in Hawaii, I would sometimes there was a time where I would, actually when I was actually paddling, I could feel the ancestral, movement of that canoe.
Hallelujah.
I mean, either whether we were going out into the ocean or if we were coming.
The manta rays, the birds come visiting, we get Alamakuas, some mana is coming around us right now.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Keep the chanting going.
I know, there's nothing better. Nothing.
Right now is whale season.
Oh, is
And
it?
Marty Dread's a good friend. He does a lot of reggae on a boat. I don't know if it's still
Oh,
going on Fridays, but
uh-huh.
he, with his music and the consistency,
Mm.
brings the whales to him. And the dolphins go and they actually go on their, they show you their bellies, they move
Wow.
with the music, and then they start going up into the water, down, up, jumping,
Wow.
making the people scream and
Hmm.
howl because they love trumpets
Mm.
and sound and music.
Wow.
And my
That's
dad, from the
awesome.
beginning, if we ever get into real discussion about who my dad is, he's a musician.
Oh, we can do that
And this,
again. We'll do another one on
yeah,
that.
but
This is
we
about you
need to
today.
give praise to the
Yeah.
music in our lives. This is
Yeah,
where
we
it
will.
all stems from.
We definitely will get into another one. I definitely want to keep a little part 2 and part 3 going with you because there's so much.
Yeah.
But
And
for
I'm
right
going to
now,
start some sessions with my dad to do like you have,
yeah,
uh, digging into the past interviews
good.
and start building that as
Oh,
a background for library source that we have. Big
okay,
content
perfect.
coming. Big content.
Perfect. All right, now don't go away, but I just want to thank you for coming in today. And for the listener, this is something that I haven't seen anybody else do, but I was really wanting to talk to Saul. And he's been, if you've been over on the our page that's growing for the 50th anniversary, he's been posting some really nice stuff and probably will continue to. So
Please
I want to
subscribe to that. Like it.
yeah, I love that. Thank you again, Saul. And then, like I said, don't go away. And thank you all for listening in. And thank you all on YouTube when this ends up over there. And, just like Saul said, keep the stove going. Yep. And the wave. Thank you.